In Arsenal's third game of the UCL this year, they defeat Atletico Madrid 4-0 at the Emirates. Yes, 4-0. It was a straight beatdown, domination of all, proportions, just everything. It was just an absolute battering, and let's talk about it. I don't have many takeaways from the first half, honestly. I thought we looked like the better team, but we just really couldn't finish. Again, I would say the best player by far in the first half was Saka. I thought he played phenomenal down that right side. They really couldn't contain him. I mean, he was just getting, numerous lanes to run through. He was getting past defenders. I can't remember if it was the first half or the second half. Either way, he did his job. He had a fantastic cross right in the box, gets to Martinelli, and Martinelli scores, but Martinelli was pretty offsides. It didn't count, but still, I like seeing that from Saka. I like that he's, of course, being hungry, especially on a UCL night as well. You know, a night where people are going to be watching. Let's be honest, this was really not the best UCL slate that we've had so far. I mean, again, it's only week 3, but it wasn't the greatest. So I think this was probably the game that most people were watching. When you take a look at least at the competition, and just go like, okay, what games do I want to watch? I obviously was going to watch this one because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think most people were watching this game if you were a neutral or just wanted to throw something on. And I'm glad he showed up and of course, showed out like he always does. That's why we call him the star boy. The man does what he does. But Atletico, they had a chance, if I remember correctly. It was either first or second half. There were some times where they threatened, and I'm putting that very loosely. But overall, I thought Arsenal were the better team in the first half. Like I said, it's just there was really no goals to show for it. They were still kind of feeling them out here and there. But all of that changed in the second half. That all changed in the second half. Rice gets it started with of course, a set piece. A set piece. They were singing it all night, and I don't blame them. It is so funny to sing and just see how mad rival fans get at Arsenal scoring off set pieces, and man, they did it again. And we all knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. But of course, Rice has a great kick, and he gets it right where it needs to be, right in the fantastic positioning. And, of course, it is headed in by Gabriel. Who else on a corner is going to be, doing that in that situation? He is by far, I would say, probably the best in the entire world at doing this at this point. He's so physical. It's his height plus his weight, just everything, the technique. And I think combining all of that versus a team versus Atletico, yes, I'm sure they were scouting, the set pieces and what we needed to watch out for when playing Arsenal. But still, when you go against a guy like Gabriel, it's different than the film. It's not like they're seeing a guy like him every day. Yes, I know there are athletes in La Liga, but this is a guy that's proven in the Prem. This is a guy that gets it done. And maybe he just caught him a little off guard, but it was just overall fantastic play from both sides, both players. Again, Rice with the just perfect delivery, and of course Gabriel with the perfect header. He just knew exactly where it was going, and that made it 1-0 to the Arsenal. And at that point, I was like, okay, I think this should be enough because I was expecting a low-scoring game going into this, but then everything just completely blew up. There was just way more goals. I'm pretty sure we scored 3 more goals in I think a 10 to 15 minute span after that. It just got absolutely wild. As I mentioned, just a little later, Arsenal score again to make it 2-0. MLS, he was bringing the ball up through the midfield. He was doing a great job. And then he passes over to Martinelli, who has a fantastic finish. Man, this is what I like to see from a guy like him. Again, I've talked about Martinelli at this point because he's contributed a lot more than I was expecting this season, but he just continues to prove me wrong. Again, a guy that I didn't want on this club, or if I did want him, he had to be on the bench, which we thought was really what he needed to be doing, and that was working this year. But again, even more credit to Martinelli. He was involved today, and he wasn't even on the bench. He didn't need to do the super sub stuff that he's been doing really the last month to 2 months at this point. No, he's been actually starting in this game, and he made contributions. Like I said, he almost had a goal earlier in the game with Saka. He was offsides. Now in this one, he didn't even need to necessarily go, try to make a run or anything like that. No, he took a fantastic shot. The announcers were saying it. He opened up his hips, great technique, and it was a great finish. It was really, really good. And this guy is just cruising on all levels right now. He's helping out Arsenal so much. And again, as much as I originally didn't think that this guy was going to be able to bring this type of level to the club, I'm all for it because it's just another guy you got to worry about with this club. And again, we're not even healthy. We don't even have Jesus. We don't even have Medawicki. We don't even have Kai Havertz. Other people are out, but to see another attacker still contributing, it just shows how dangerous this Arsenal side are right now and how much more dangerous they can even become once they're fully healthy again. So overall, super, super happy for Martinelli and very happy as well for MLS to get involved. I know he hasn't played a ton this year, but the fact that he was involved on the assist, that was huge for him. And then really, again, right after this, Gyokeres, he has not one, but 2 goals. I'm so happy for this guy because if you've been following him the last, I would say, month, you've been watching and seeing that, okay, he's been involved. Some of this has been on him. I'm not saying he is, above criticism. He does need to be better, but he's been doing the right things. He's been making the runs. He's just had some unlucky shots. Some of them is just an unlucky touch. But he has done such a good job. When you really break it down and watch and go back and look at some of these games, the defense for the opposing team has to worry about him so much that he is freeing things up for everyone else on this attack. And today, finally, to see him actually get rewarded with, again, not 1 but 2 goals, I was just so happy for him. I don't think he was worried about his confidence, but they did say, counting international and club games, he hadn't scored in 9 games. I mean, we brought him in to be, obviously, a prolific scorer. That's what he's supposed to be doing. So to see that he, again, got 2 goals today, in the UCL as well, that was huge. And I'm just so happy for him. Again, they were not the prettiest. They were not the prettiest goals. But at the end of the day, when I am looking at a striker, their entire thing that I'm basing, why am I blanking right now? I'm basing every single thing off of for a striker is how much they score. How much do they score? How much are they, of course, again, scoring and actually impacting the game? Are they, helping with the build-up play, et cetera, et cetera? I feel like Haaland really changed my opinion on all of this because I don't know, I was listening to some of the people a couple years ago when Haaland had that slight down season for him. And I was like, oh, is Haaland the best striker in the world? Does he get involved enough? Yes, he is the best striker in the world because at the end of the day, his job is to score. That's all we're basing him off of. So when I see Gyokeres, again, getting 2 goals today, I can't complain. I don't care how pretty they are. I don't care if the ball was literally put on a platter. He still had to finish it. He still had to get it done, and he did it. So I'm super happy about that. Pretty much everything you want to see out of an Arsenal win today. Again, Gyokeres scores. Martinelli, he's proving that he doesn't even need to potentially be a super sub. Another set piece. This is just Arsenal in 2025, and this is just what they do. They're dominant, and again, another crazy stat as well. Today, they did actually give up a shot on target. Oh my gosh, so bad, I know. That is the first shot on target they gave up in 3 games if you're counting the Premier League as well. That is insane. That is one of the best stats I've heard, number 1 this year, and of course it's for my team as well. So I don't know. I'm just so proud of their win today. I was expecting, maybe a 1-0 game, a 0-0 game, all the jokes, haram ball going into this. We did not get any of that from Arsenal today. They let what is it? They took the safety brakes off. That's what it is. They took the safety brakes off, and once they got 1 goal, it just opened up. It just opened up and continued to open up for them. And again, they are now undefeated in the UCL so far in the group phase. They're putting themselves in a very, very good position. You don't want to have to get in the playoffs just to get in. I want to feel comfortable going into that part of the UCL before we get to the knockouts. So I'm just super happy from this performance. Again, it was a really good one. I don't really have a ton to break down, but I just wanted to talk about this because, again, this was just a fantastic performance. And it's not like this was some bum team. No, this was Atletico Madrid, and I know they have struggled a little bit, but still, this is usually the 3rd best team in Spain. This is a fixture we don't really see. So to see Arsenal do such a good job against them as well, and again, they're one of the best defensive teams that we've seen in not a long time, but in the last couple of years at least, they've been very good defensively. So again, to see them put up 4 goals, I just have really no complaints today. Just super, super proud. And again, we got some other guys involved that are usually on the bench. It was just a great day to be an Arsenal fan. That's all I got in this one. Just a quick kind of recap of the game, what I love to see, and just overall me just being super proud of this team. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. If you're interested in any other football content, please subscribe if this video has interested you or you've enjoyed it. I'm going to be continuing to break down Arsenal, other games in the Premier League, even big games in other leagues, and of course the UCL as well. So I will be doing that. And drop your thoughts down below on the performance. And last is, if you're interested in any of my short-term content, that will be in the description down below of my TikTok. And if you made it this far into the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.